Today our topic is why Stoics practiced silence. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. One of the key practices of the Stoics was silence. But why did they value silence so much? What can we learn from this practice in our noisy, busy world? Let us explore this idea and see how it can help us live better lives. First, let's understand what silence meant to the Stoics. For them, silence was not just about not speaking. It was about creating space in the mind to think clearly, to reflect, and to find peace. In a world full of distractions, noise, and endless chatter, the Stoics believed that silence was a way to reconnect with ourselves and our inner wisdom. They saw silence as a tool for self-control, a way to avoid unnecessary conflict, and a method to focus on what truly matters. The Stoics practiced silence because they knew that words have power. When we speak, we can easily say things we regret, hurt others, or waste time on meaningless conversations. By staying silent, they avoided these problems. Silence also helped them listen better. When we are quiet, we can truly hear what others are saying, understand their feelings, and respond with kindness and wisdom. The Stoics believed that by practicing silence, they could become better friends, better leaders, and better human beings. Silence also allowed them to observe the world around them, without judgment. They could see things as they really are, not as they wished them to be. This helped them accept life's challenges with calmness and courage. Another reason the Stoics practiced silence was to cultivate inner peace. They believed that much of our suffering comes from our own thoughts and emotions. When we are constantly talking, especially about our problems, we can get caught in a cycle of negativity. Silence gives us a break from this cycle. It allows us to step back, breathe, and see things from a different perspective. By being silent, the Stoics could find clarity and strength within themselves. They could face difficulties with a calm mind and a steady heart. This is why many Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus wrote about the importance of silence in their teachings. Silence was also a way for the Stoics to practice humility. In a world where people often try to prove themselves, show off, or compete for attention, silence is a powerful reminder that we don't always need to be heard. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from within, not from the approval of others. By staying silent, they showed that they were secure in themselves and did not need to seek validation. This humility helped them build deeper connections with others because people could sense their sincerity and authenticity. Silence also helped them avoid arguments and conflicts. They understood that many disagreements arise from misunderstandings or from speaking without thinking. By choosing silence, they could avoid unnecessary drama and focus on what really mattered. The Stoics also practiced silence as a way to prepare for the challenges of life. They knew that life is unpredictable and that we will face many difficult situations. By practicing silence, they trained themselves to stay calm under pressure. They learned to think before they spoke, to control their emotions, and to act with purpose. This preparation helped them face life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. For example, Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman emperor, often practiced silence to stay focused and composed during times of war and political turmoil. He used silence as a way to reflect on his actions and make wise decisions for his people. In our modern world, silence is often seen as uncomfortable or awkward. We are used to constant noise from our phones, our TVs, our social media, and even our own thoughts. We fill every moment with activity and conversation, afraid of being alone with ourselves. But the Stoics remind us that silence is not something to fear. It is a gift, a chance to slow down and reconnect with what truly matters. When we practice silence, we give ourselves the opportunity to think deeply, to reflect on our values, and to align our actions with our principles. We can also use silence to recharge our energy and find peace in the midst of chaos. So how can we practice silence in our daily lives? It doesn't mean we have to stop talking altogether. Instead, it means being more mindful about when and how we speak. We can start by taking a few minutes each day to sit in silence, away from distractions. We can use this time to meditate, to reflect on our day, or simply to breathe and be present. We can also practice silence in our conversations by listening more and speaking less. When we do speak, we can choose our words carefully, making sure they are kind, truthful, and necessary. By doing this, we can improve our relationships, reduce stress, and live more intentionally. The Stoics also teach us that silence is a form of self-discipline. It takes effort to stay quiet, especially when we feel the urge to react, to defend ourselves, or to share our opinions. But by practicing silence, we can develop greater self-control and emotional resilience. We can learn to respond to life's challenges with wisdom and patience, rather than reacting impulsively. This self-discipline is one of the key principles of Stoicism, and it is what helps us live a virtuous and fulfilling life. In conclusion, the Stoics practiced silence because they understood its profound benefits. Silence allowed them to think clearly, to listen deeply, and to find inner peace. It helped them avoid unnecessary conflict, practice humility, and prepare for life's challenges. In our noisy and fast-paced world, we can learn a lot from the Stoic practice of silence. By embracing silence, we can create space in our minds, connect with our inner wisdom, and live more meaningful lives. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it is the presence of clarity, strength, and peace. Let us take inspiration from the Stoics and make silence a part of our daily practice. In doing so, we can find greater happiness, resilience, and purpose in our lives.